It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Allendale Brewing Company, and it's a can of their Dirty Deeds New England IPA, coming in at 6.6% ABV. There's a look at the beer. It's in a 330 milliliter can. Let's get this can out into a glass, see what we get, shall we? I picked this can up myself in Morrison's in the UK. They do a deal where you buy 3 cans of beer and it comes to £6. So it's part of one of their 3 for £6 range. Oh, nearly got all it. Can we get it all in? Let's talk about the beer for a second and then we'll get the rest of the beer in. So we got a hazy orange kind of amber coloured beer. If you have a look at the bottom of the glass, if I can get my big fat sausage fingers out of the way, you can see the sediment there at the bottom of the glass. So it's a can conditioned beer with a 2 to 3 finger white head and slow moving carbonation, we'll call it. There we are then. Aroma on this hazy orange coloured beer. New England IPA. Well, let's comment first on the New England IPA. Does it look like a New England IPA? Does it scream New England IPA at you? In all honesty, no, it doesn't. It screams double IPA at me, but it doesn't scream New England IPA at me. A New England IPA would be lighter and it would be an awful lot hazier to look at. But let's go with what we have. Let's go with what we got. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, it smells like a double IPA. Loads of sweetness, loads of kind of tutti fruity, zesty, orangey, grapefruity aromas. It's very tart as well. There's some kind of mixed fruit jam aromas coming through. Let's dive in. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah, it's hard to say double IPA now. It's hard to say IPA. It's hard to say double IPA. It's definitely kind of like that kind of New England IPA, lots of flavour in the middle, and then just a pinch of bitterness on the back end. But what lets this beer down a little bit is the sweetness at the beginning. If you're really into your beer, if you know your stuff, if you've reviewed hundreds of beers on Untapped, you'll understand where I'm going to come from now, and that is, it starts off like a classic American IPA. It starts off like a classic American double IPA, and that is a mouthful of sweetness. There's a big malty kind of sweetness at the beginning, and then it goes over to all of the flavour in the middle, the jam, the tartness, the grapefruit, the orange peel, the fleshy blood orange, the mango, the citrus, the kiwi, and then it kind of stops on the back end. There's literally not much bitterness at all on the back end. So it's very unbalanced. It's very unbalanced, leaning towards sweetness. I would prefer it if the brewer grabbed hold of a sample of this before the marketing department called it Dirty Deeds New England IPA. I'd rather they discussed it between them properly and gone, it's too sweet for a New England IPA. Maybe we, I don't know, brew another batch and lower the sweetness. Maybe we change the malt. That would make it a better example of a New England IPA. Or if you want that sweetness at the beginning of the beer, because let's face it, the supermarkets give a certain ceiling of price of how much they will pay for the beer. So most of the time the brewer has got his hands tied, and there's not a lot he can do. So it's a constant battle, I suppose, of trying to get this beer somewhere right. I don't know if Morrison said, Allendale, can you brew a New England IPA? Or Allendale went to Morrison's and said, we've got a great idea for a New England IPA. I don't know. But what I do know is that it needs work. It does need work. It's too sweet. If it's going to be sweet, as I mentioned earlier, then it needs to be bitter on the back end. It needs to have some kind of balance going on. If you took your one arm away and left your one arm out while you're flying an aeroplane, or if you just had one wing, the aeroplane would fall down to the ground, wouldn't it? But if you had two wings, then you're able to fly. You need balance. So yeah, an unbalanced beer, the malt content is probably wrong. But you have to weigh up the price. You have to weigh up the fact that it's £2.50 a can on its own, or it's 3 cans for £6 in Morrison's. And that's just my open, honest review. Rating for the England's Last Wilderness Allendale Dirty Deeds New England IPA, coming in at 6.6% ABV, 20 IBUs. Doesn't work for me at the moment, but it has promise. It just needs a bit of a polish. I like it enough to give it a meddling 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.